That's my thumbnail. Wait, smile in the background. The past few months have been a struggle for me when it comes to reading. I'm not sure if it's a situational thing, like I'm just not in the right headspace to read, or if my taste in books have changed. But with the books that I haven't been enjoying, I've noticed little things within them that I realized I didn't like in books, and it made me come up with a list of things that I didn't like in books. Now, these aren't things like genre related or writing style related or trope related. These are more just like little things that come up in books. So the first thing that I've never really enjoyed in books is time travel. I know that I avoid sci-fi books a lot of the times. There are only a handful of sci-fi-ish books that I enjoy, and I definitely avoid sci-fi movies. But there are certain contemporary type books that I've picked up, and then I start reading it and realize that there's a time travel aspect of it, and that's when I usually shut off because I don't like time travel. Next up on the list is multiple perspectives. Now, I have been very careful in picking books up with multiple perspectives in them, because a lot of the times I find that it's never in the synopsis, and I would, you know, think that something is a romance, or it's just a regular general fiction, or even a thriller, and I like those genres, but then I pick it up and there's multiple perspectives in them. I don't like this, because most of the time I don't feel like it's done well. Obviously there are exceptions. I know that there are a couple of multiple perspective type books that have been done really well. I think the key is to make the voices in the writing style distinct enough that I don't feel like I'm reading from the same person, even though they're supposed to be two different people, you know? I saw a lot of this done in romance books, especially new adult to adult romance books, and I don't understand the point of it, because a lot of the times, I think this is where it comes from, a lot of the times when books are written in multiple perspectives, it's kind of recounting the same event, the same time, but it's just from two different people's perspectives, and I don't see the point in that. Obviously there are exceptions. Like, I feel like there are some books that tell multiple perspectives but in different timelines. Next up on the list is police or detective point of views in thrillers. I don't like police procedurals type stuff. I don't like stories that are told from the perspective of someone that works in like the police detective department. I just feel like they add in a lot more like jargon that I don't care to understand, and it's just like, I would rather, like, I see this a lot in thrillers, and so I would rather a thriller or a mystery be written from the perspective of someone who's like experiencing it, or who's like just a normal regular person, because I can relate to it more. Going along with this, I also don't like books that are written from the perspective of a lawyer, or like anything to do with like that department or that aspect of things, because again, they add in a lot more jargon that I really don't care about. And so I think a lot of the times the story, especially in the beginning, becomes more about how the law works and how the procedure should be done and blah blah blah, and I don't care about that. So this next thing is more of a trope, but I see it everywhere, and not just in romance. I feel like, especially in TV shows, they just sort of add this in just because they want to add this in, and that is a student-teacher relationship. I hate this trope so much. I don't care how you sugarcoat it, how you slice it, how you tell this story, how romantic it's supposed to be. It's gross to me. You can flip it any way you want, and I still will think that it's gross, because it is gross. Next up is another relationship-y, romancy type thing, and that is cheating without any consequences. I feel like there's a lot of romances do this thing where they want to make the main character and this love interest get together, but they're too lazy to make an actual obstacle, so they make the love interest or the main character have like a partner already before the book even starts. And there's this, like, most of the time it's like emotional cheating, and a lot of the times when the two characters that the writer wants to get together do end up getting together, there's no like actual consequences for the cheating that was done subtly in the beginning, because I think they try and make it so innocent. They do this thing where they're like, oh yeah, these people just love each other and that's the reason. It's like, that's not, you can't just do that. Another romance related thing that I don't like in books is miscommunication. This is such an easy thing to write, and I feel like a lot of romances do this thing as an obstacle for the two people to not get together until the very end, and I just think it's dumb. It frustrates me reading it, because I feel like it's one of those things that can just easily be fixed, but the two characters just don't want to communicate properly, and so the whole book is this miscommunication that I don't see the point in. Okay, moving away from all the romancy stuff, I don't like pirate books. I don't like books about pirates. I don't like books about people in the Navy. I like the ocean. I think the ocean, especially in like a horror movie or a thriller novel or something like that, is really creepy, and I just think it's really interesting. Like, the fact that we don't know what's underneath is really interesting, and it's a topic that I do really like. But I don't like pirates. I don't like reading about pirates. I don't know why. There's not really any reason for it. I just don't like them. Something else that I don't know why I don't like, but it's books that are set around the time of World War One, or just war in general. I think, like, I love World War II historical fiction, but I don't like it when it's like, I don't know, like, I feel like there's a lot of, actually now that I think about it, maybe I just like period dramas, but I don't actually like stories set around war. Okay, this next thing, I feel like some people will agree with me on this, and that's fiction within fiction. There are obviously exceptions. Like, I feel like there's, like, if you add in poetry, or if you add in songs, or maybe not songs, but like podcasts or something like that, I feel like that could be done really well. But if it's a story and then there's like a book that a character is writing within the story, I'm probably not gonna read that fictional thing inside the fiction book. Moving on, I don't like books that tell a character's entire life. I don't mean like biographies or memoirs or something like that, but like fictional people. Something completely random, and I feel like this is more in movies, but I have seen it in a couple of fantasy books, and that's talking animals. I don't know why, I've never liked movies with talking animals in them, and so I don't like them in books either. I just find it weird, and like, I know that most of the time it's in a fantasy book, but I still don't like it. It's weird to me, and it's creepy. Okay, this next thing kind of goes along with that whole miscommunication thing that I was talking about, and that's impersonations. Like, people that impersonate another character and get away with it for the whole entire thing. And then a lot of the times the plot is like, oh, you impersonated this person, and then there's like a love interest, and then you have to tell them that you're not the actual person, and that's just way too much unnecessary drama for me. And the last thing is something that I'm sure a lot of people will agree with, and that is love triangles. I feel like I rarely read books that have a love triangle in it that was done well. Like The Hunger Games, nobody, like, I know that there was Team Gale, but I feel like Suzanne Collins was always going to pair Katniss up with Peter, and that was the same with Twilight. Like, Jacob never really had any chance, to be honest. Like, Bella has always seen Jacob as a brother or something, so I just don't see the point in it. It's again, it's unnecessary drama. That's everything I have on my list so far. If I have any more, I'll definitely make a part 2 to this video, but let me know if you agree with some of the things that are on my list, if you don't agree with them, if you want to share with me some of your little things that you don't like in books. Whoa. Yeah. Oh no. Anyway, the world is getting noisier, so I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you in another video soon.
Thank you.